the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Off to the inside, intercepted Alabama, touchdown.
And everything college and high school sports. Now, let's join Andy, Brett, Randy, and Luke for this edition of Sports Blitz Live.
Hello again, everyone, and good Tuesday evening. Welcome into this another edition of Sports Blitz Live. We appreciate all of you out there being with us tonight. I am Andy Graham alongside my good friend Jim Hardy. We appreciate you being with us this evening. We'll be with you until 9 o'clock. We'll be taking your phone calls, 256-234-6221, also taking your comments. If you want to dial us up on the Sports Blitz Facebook page, that's Sports with a Z, you can comment away there. We've got a lot of great guests, actually, on the program tonight. Freshman QB at Auburn University, Hank Brown, is scheduled to join us in the next segment. Hopefully we'll be able to catch up with him and see how his inaugural season is going there at Auburn, what the practice is like, what the feel is as we just are looking at media days around the corner, fall practice soon to begin after that. So next thing you know, we'll be halfway through the season. So a lot to be excited about there. We're going to start our annual SEC preview tonight. We're going to take a look at the Texas A&M Aggies and the Kentucky Wildcats. Olin Buchanan from TexAgs.com will join us a little bit later, and also Aaron Gershon from CatsPaws.com covering the Wildcats. Of course, there's a lot going on, as always. You got the Major League Baseball All-Star Game tonight. The Home Run Derby was last night. In and around the world of college football, Northwestern fires Pat Fitzgerald yesterday. Bob Huggins, well, they thought he resigned, and he said, nah, I didn't really resign. So wonder how that's going to all turn out there at West Virginia.
Sounds like he's trying to be a little sneaky. You know, if you're going to go in and say that your wife sent your resignation letter in and you didn't, then they're trying to look for a loophole out of a contract, is what it sounds like to me.
Yeah. Well, well, just on the surface, it sounds like his wife actually did send the document in, but according to the school, they knew that she was going to send it in, and that certainly Bob had okayed it and verified it and sent it in. So it's just kind of a crazy story. I don't know as I've ever heard anything quite like that coming off a DUI, a coach, it's announced he's going to step down. Go ahead, just sail off into the sunset, Huggy Bear, and, everything's all will be forgiven.
Pull a Harsin and sit on the beach.
And then, yeah, really. And then a week later, he says, yeah, I didn't resign. So basically, it kind of sounds like Bob is saying, I'm going to have to get some money out of this deal.
Oh, there's no doubt. He looked at his finances after he was going to be let go, and he said, I got to find a loophole in this.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting to see how that all comes out as well. Have you been keeping up with the Pat Fitzgerald situation?
I have been keeping up with it some. What I saw, of the hazing reports come out and the other players that, it's going to come now that more of them are going to step forward. But for the one that stepped forward and let everybody know what was going on, that's pretty sad that they've allowed those things to go on. Now, for the history of time, there's been hazing at fraternities and sororities and all these things, but sure, to the limits. You don't ever put anybody's life on the line. You don't start messing with their genitalia and doing things to hurt them. That's a little step out of bounds in my book.
Oh, yeah. It's an interesting thing. And I'm kind of two minds about this. Number one, when you have an athletic team and you have, say, senior through freshman,
right,
you have classes, there is always, in every program, everywhere, girls and boys, there's always going to be some level of hazing per se. Whether you want to even call it that or not, there's the seniors are going to kind of, look down upon the freshmen because they're seniors, and and that that's going to go on everywhere. But like you say, where do you draw the line? There was a article came out several years ago about Bart Starr when he was at Alabama, and there was some hazing in this fraternity, and they nearly beat him to death. It literally, it caused him problems the rest of his life. Wow. And it probably took away from his ability to play quarterback. One of the great quarterbacks of the early NFL, won championships. He could have been even much better, but and it was kind of a, they called it at the time, it was a rite of passage, Right. And in the 50s, you could get away with stuff like that, and it was probably, and it was certainly accepted. But like you said today, when you read some of the things that Northwestern were doing, you're just like, well, number one, I'm like, what? How is that even thought of? How does that even, how does somebody even come up with something like that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand it except for, like what you have already mentioned, that it's something that it was a rite of passage. Those seniors felt like, okay, I had to go through this, so I'll make them go through this. Exactly. Then what stops you is if you're a senior and there's this big, great freshman that's come in that may be taking your job, you might haze him a little bit more to where he don't play right to start with.
That's another good point. So it's a bad look, certainly, and it made it look worse, I guess, at Northwestern that the president comes out to begin with and says, okay, it's a 2-week suspended without pay. But you got to remember, this president has been at Northwestern about 5 minutes. Right. So, for a guy that's just basically stepped foot on campus and your first job, you say, oh, by the way, you got to fire the head football coach. Right. That's been here for 20 years. That's not an easy thing to do. So, in all, I feel something. Pat Fitzgerald, I guess one of the ways or one of the reasons I feel like I have some sort of, interest in this story is he's 48. Right. He's my age. Right. Basically. So he played at Northwestern. He always seems like he's a family man. He's had a sterling reputation as far as I know. Right. Up to this point. So. Well, but I feel bad for him.
It's back to the leadership thing for me, and I think the guys earlier today had discussed it a little bit as well. When you're in charge, it doesn't matter. Like, you've got to know what's going on below you. He can't go out there now and wave a flag and say, "Well, I didn't know Andy was doing any of that." Yeah. You got to know what's doing it.
He's waved that flag. Right. It's just nobody believes him.
Right. Yeah.
So. Yeah. Well, there you go. Northwestern looking for a new head football coach. We'll see. I'm sure it'll be an interim at this point when you fire the guy. And by the way, his son is on the team as well.
Oh my, yeah, that's not good.
So I reckon how that conversation's going.
Well, and you probably suspect it may be something like a Mississippi State did when Leach died. They may go get an offensive coordinator or a D coordinator and make them an interim coach for this year because you don't have time right now to fall this close to hire a new coach.
No,
there's no way.
No, it wouldn't be a good situation, I don't think. Probably, but anyway, did you watch Home Run Derby? Do you care anything about those kind of things?
No, it's just come so inflated now. I mean, I watched one guy that hit, and I think he hit like 30-something home run. He burned himself out, basically. He was hitting so dang many of them. And I don't know, got disinterested after that, if you're going to hit that many.
Well, Julio Rodriguez, who's from Seattle, he hit 41. And in the next round, he came up, I think he hit 20. Right. And he was out. So, yeah, it's kind of, I like the way they do it now. The way they used to do it was a little bit different, but now they put obviously a time limit on it. And I've kind of gone back and forth. My interest ebbs and flows in it. I'm like you. At some point, you kind of just, I've seen it. It's like the dunk contest. I can't remember the last time I actually watched one. Yeah. However, when it was, when it was new, when it was fresh, when it was something that was very entertaining, I was when it was Michael Jordan and Dominic Williams.
Oh, yeah.
Dominic Wilkins, I was all over it.
Oh, yeah, Spud Webb.
Yeah.
You know, see a little bitty guy get up there and do it, but it's all show now. To me, it's almost like it's made up before it's ever done. You know, they know who's going to win.
Yeah. So, Major League Baseball, again, all-star game tonight. That's
basically like a Braves home game. You know, just it's the whole lineup's Braves.
There is quite a few. 8 Braves make the all-star lineup. Not all starting, but that they are the best team in baseball right now. I don't think anybody could argue that.
No, I mean you can't.
No,
there's nothing.
Are you a Braves fan?
Oh yeah, okay. Absolutely. Yeah, I was kind of concerned there to start with in the early mid-year there when we were having some pitching issues, but that pitching finally come around, and it's doing enough because of the offense we got. I mean, every guy in the lineup's got a chance of hitting a home run. So
yeah,
that's kind of scary. It's like watching LSU and Tennessee in the SEC that every guy in the lineup could hit one in the road.
They've got 7. I think they've got 7 guys in the lineup on pace to hit 30 homers.
Good grief.
That's crazy. So, and I've been a little bit concerned with the pitching myself, but, you know, I saw a stat the other day that the bullpen, as far as like saving leads or holding leads and saving leads, the Braves are, I think, 2nd or 3rd in all of baseball.
Well, that's, you know, and that's what you look for in other sports, especially in college football. When you get a lead, you want to be able to hold it, you know.
Can you? Yeah.
And that's kind of what we're going to, you know, talk about a little bit later, getting into this SEC teams, which teams can hold on and make it happen.
Got to be able to score, but you also got to be able to stop somebody when it absolutely counts. Nobody plays a whole lot of defense outside of Georgia.
Right.
But you got to at least get a stop or 2 in there to maintain that lead. So
well, and the game has come to such a spread game now that it's a matchup deal, and they're looking for the right spot and the right piece of grass, and you got receivers that's got multiple options on one play. So you're going to see 25 to 30, 40 points scored in games. It's just these defenses, except for a Georgia, that every player on the field is a 4- and 5-star that can run with most people. It's hard to play defense now.
You hardly ever see anybody go for it on 4th down either now.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody goes for it.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Lane says it's in his metrics that if he reads a piece of paper and it says go for it on 4th and 4 and 4-yard line, he's going.
He would say that.
Yeah.
We're up against our first break here on Sports Blitz Live, but don't go anywhere. We're just getting started. Join us when we come back right after this.
Forbes Auto Sales, located on Highway 280 in Kellyton, is all about selection and service. Selection of clean, sharp used cars, trucks, and SUVs selected by Robert Forbes himself. Service. Forbes Auto Sales is all about servicing vehicles on the lot, but also servicing your personal vehicle. Keep this in mind. If you don't see what you're looking for on the lot, just tell old Robert to go shopping for you. That's what he does. Personal service, and that's what it's all about at Forbes Auto Sales in Kellyton.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill in Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our Best Rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Sign Source is your local vendor for commercial and residential sign manufacturing and installation. We offer all kinds of lighted and non-lighted signage, from retail signs, LED message centers, event banners, vehicle wraps, the whole spectrum. We also offer service and repair on existing signs, as well as retrofitting to LED or installation of outsourced signage. We have the knowledge necessary to fulfill all of your signage needs in the short or long term. Visit signsourcenow.com to get started.
Farmers and Merchants Bank of Dadeville is building a foundation of strength and trust in the entire Lake Martin community. With our modern branch in Dadeville and caring, attentive staff, we've established Farmers and Merchants Bank as a reliable friend to your banking needs. Whether it's just a savings or checking account or any commercial, auto, or real estate loan, Farmers has local decision-making to build a relationship with you and your needs. Farmers and Merchants Community Bank. Strength, service, community.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Jim here with you, just getting started on tonight's show. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us this evening. We're going to go to the phone line and welcome in a very special guest, freshman quarterback at Auburn, Hank Brown. Hank, thank you so much for taking some time for us tonight.
Of course. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Hank played high school at Lipscomb Academy and had a prolific season, leading them to a championship last year in Tennessee Division II AA. So really, 47 touchdowns, 3,264 yards, just a tremendous year there. Hank, just tell us a little bit about yourself, where you grew up, and where your love for football developed.
Yeah, so I actually grew up in a town outside of Chicago called Wheaton. I grew up there my whole life, and then going into my junior season, I moved to Nashville and had the privilege to play for Coach Dilfer at Lipscomb Academy, and that definitely turned out very well. As you said, being able to win a state title and learn from one of the best in the country at the high school level, that was awesome. And so, I just felt like I was really able to grow a ton last year, and I'm super excited for this new season that I'm in now and what the future holds.
That's one of the things I wanted to touch on that you brought up. How is it to get to play for a Super Bowl champion, great quarterback as he was, and what is he like? We all see the fire and the brimstone, I call it, when he gets out there and shakes people and grabs them and tries to coach them. That's Coach Dilfer. Tell me how it was playing for him.
Yeah, it was awesome. He's definitely the best coach that I've been coached by up until this point. Just seeing, he's definitely one of the hardest workers I've ever met, just grinding all day, game planning, and just being able to teach me really everything I know as a quarterback. And, when I'm on the field, just being in my ear, helping me with my eyes throughout the play, whatever it is, just always helping me. And he definitely got that fire to him. But it was, a really great privilege to be able to play under him.
What was it like? We know that you had an offer to go to UAB with Coach Dilfer. I think you had an offer to go to Liberty from Coach Freeze, and then Coach Freeze gets the job at Auburn, and the offer comes from there. What was that moment like?
That was definitely very tough. It was a crazy situation, just being committed to Liberty all the way up until that point. And then, Freeze leaving and Coach Dilfer leaving and going to UAB. It was definitely one of the toughest decisions I've had to make between Auburn and UAB. And like I said, Coach Dilfer is, one of my favorite coaches. I love playing for him. But I just felt there was a certain point where SEC is SEC. And so, I just felt like it's a whole different level of ball. So that's where I was at with that decision. But it was very tough.
Well, and I can understand, anybody that gets an opportunity to play in the SEC, just like you're a competitor because I've watched the films and seen your highlights, and you played the Thompsons of the world and the best teams there were in Tennessee, and you're no stranger from seeing competition, so that's where the best is in the SEC. So we were glad you chose Auburn to come over here and compete in that quarterback room. Tell me the transitions. As I said, I watched a little bit of film and saw some of the details of Coach Dilfer's offense he was trying to run. Are there any meshes between him and Freeze? Some of the concepts, are they using the same thing? Or was it a easier transition as you learned Auburn offense?
Yeah, it's definitely been a good transition. There are some similarities between the two offenses. A little bit different. As far as the RPO game is a little bit different for sure. There's definitely similarities, but, it's been a good transition, and thankfully Dilfer's prepared me for this, and so I feel like it's easier for me than it would be for most kids coming out of high school, just because we ran a super complex offense at the high school level, and so now here it's not super hard. It comes pretty easy for me, and so just having that background has helped a lot in this transition.
Now, I like I said, study the films a lot and see both sides of that coin of the details that come out of Dilfer's system. And now, obviously, Freeze, I've watched a lot of his film from all of his previous stops before and seen a lot of details in the wide receivers themselves. I know you've only been out there throwing 7-on-7 and some other things with them. Can you tell a little bit about how complex it is? It almost seems like on film when you see it that those receivers have multiple decisions they could make within one route. I mean, do they have freedom to read different things and make a move, and you got to be on the same page with them?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's one of the big changes that has been for me from high school, where more of it I feel like is put on the quarterback, and the receivers don't really have too many options when they're running routes, just because at that level it's hard to put that much on the receiver because, some of them aren't smart enough at that level. But definitely here, that's been a big change that I've noticed. And what can make it seem great is when you have the receivers that are all on the same page as the quarterback, because they have, in this offense, they have a lot of different, options that they can do depending on what the defense is lined up in, what the play is, and so that's something that I've been able to get adjusted to. But it's also something I've learned that the receivers here are all really smart, and that helps a ton for sure. And so being able to build that relationship with them and know where their head's at on those different things based on the looks they get helps a lot.
Yeah, and that's another thing I was about to ask is what is the relationships like? I know a lot of you guys, we got a bunch of transfers in this year from all over the country. You coming in as a freshman, do you kind of feel like in 7-on-7s and those moments y'all are out there and work, weight room workouts and stuff, is everything seeming to gel in together?
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely gelling. I mean, like you said, there's a bunch of new transfers. It's a whole new coaching staff. And so I feel like it's been great. All the guys have been really, awesome, welcoming, and I just feel like, we're all really starting to gel together. There's some great leaders on the team that have been helping that out too, just as far as getting to know each other well. And so I feel like, it's definitely been, I've been able to gel with all of them and start building those relationships, so it's been good.
Now, for a lot of our guys that are out there listening, they've probably heard before on some of the other shows that you've been on and people that are talking about you. There's been a name thrown around a lot called the Baby Goat. Could you tell us where the Baby Goat came from?
Yeah, so I've been in touch with Locked on Auburn, that show with Zach Lurby.
Oh, yeah.
And so he really just gave me the Baby Goat. Like, I don't know why that was the name, but that is the name that he decided to give me, and he asked me if I was cool with it, and I was like, sure, we'll go with it. So I don't know where that originated from, but I'm a fan of it, so I guess we could keep that going.
I like it.
Hank, do you mind? You got a few minutes? We can go one more segment with you?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, we're going to go ahead and take a commercial break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Hank Brown, Auburn quarterback, right after this.
Are you in the mood to hit the road and travel in style? Then head on over to Opelika RV. You'll receive huge savings on travel trailers, lightweight campers, and fifth wheels by KZ, Sanibel, and StarCraft. Not only will you get the best prices around at Opelika RV, they also have a parts and service center to ensure you're always ready to enjoy a no-hassle road trip. Visit Opelika RV today for superior service and prices. Opelika RV, located at 6752 Highway 280 East in Opelika, or give them a call at 334-742-9160.
SCAG, the toughest name in lawnmowers. Unmatched quality and performance for over 3 decades. The clear choice, the best mower money can buy for work or at home. Top lawn care professionals and discerning homeowners know that SCAG means productivity and reliability. Every SCAG mower is proudly built right here in the USA. Don't settle for anything less than simply the best. SCAG.
Satterfield Outdoor Living on Highway 280 in Alex City.
You want the best opportunity to be successful in life. You deserve that opportunity. Well, you just happens to be in our motto. Central to you, central to your success. Your future is right now. Don't wait. Make your dreams a reality by enrolling at Central Alabama Community College. Register today at cacc.edu.
Looking for an attorney you can trust for your real estate closings? Wisdom Law Firm at Lake Martin has you covered. Your real estate transactions are fast, convenient, and professional every step of the way. Wisdom Law is certified and licensed by the American Land and Title Association and approved by all local lenders. Visit Wisdom Law Firm at 6366 Highway 49 in Dadeville or at their Auburn location at 2353 Bent Creek Road. No communication concerning a lawyer's legal services shall be published or broadcast unless it contains the following language, which shall be clearly legible or audible as the case may be. No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Alex City Internal Medicine and Nephrology and Weight Loss Center provides optimum care for the whole person. Dr. Dimo Popov specializes in the prevention and diagnosis of high blood pressure, kidney disease, diabetes, and acute and chronic conditions. Our weight loss clinic offers lipo shots and a guide to healthy weight loss. Alex City Internal Medicine and Nephrology and Weight Loss Center, where lifestyle changes are made.
Lee Apparel is your go-to vendor for screen printed and embroidered apparel and promotional products. We print and embroider free custom-made graphics or outsourced designs on everything from t-shirts, headwear, corporate wear, team sportswear, high-end safety apparel, and promotional products. At Lee Apparel, you can always expect quick turnaround time, competitive pricing, friendly customer service, and free in-hands delivery on all orders. Visit us at leeapparel.com to get started.
Well, welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. We're on the phone talking to freshman Auburn quarterback Hank Brown. Hank, you know, the high school schedule and the college football schedule, massively different. Were you prepared for that, and how's that going, that transition?
Yeah, it's been a great transition. I was definitely prepared for it coming in, but it's definitely a big difference. I mean, just as far as workouts, as far as, you know, training, being here all day in the facility, it's a big difference. You know, football for high school, you know, you really have, you know, school all day and then football after. Right now in the summer, I mean, we're football all day. We got school as well, but we're really here at the facility, you know, from 7 in the morning to 7 at night, just getting the work in, and it's been a good transition, though, and I felt like I was prepared for it, but it's definitely a lot.
Now, speaking of a lot of time and stress on your body and stuff, I know a 6'4", 200-pounder like yourself, they put you in the weight room. Are there any things that they've kind of laid on you as far as a specific schedule of things they want you to be doing? Are they trying to put weight on you, take weight off of you? Tell us a little bit about the weight room.
Yeah, so the weight room's been great. For us quarterbacks, we have our lifts are tweaked a little bit, just, you know, based on keeping our shoulders safe and in the right position. But for the most part, we do the same workouts as the rest of them, and it's really been helping me put on weight. And so, since I've been here, I came in, I think, at 195, and I weighed in today at 203. So I've put on some good weight, and, I think that'll continue. And so I'm excited to keep going on that journey in the weight room and just keep getting stronger and bigger.
Now, I know Auburn, just like the rest of the teams in this country, have these great wellness centers and nutrition programs that are going on. And I know for you to get from 195 to 203, you had to be eating some good groceries. So tell us about the wellness center over there at Auburn.
Oh, yeah. So we have, like you said, the wellness center, and we're required to go there for breakfast and lunch every day. And they have a whole variety of stations and food. It's really like buffet-style food at every meal. And so I met with our nutritionist and put together a plan of specific things I need to be eating at every meal and in between the meals so that I can gain the right weight along with working out to put good weight on. And so, having that wellness center has helped me a ton, and I've been eating a lot of food for sure. Helped me put that weight on.
Now, out of that food, what is your favorite?
That's a good question. That's a tough one. I would say, for breakfast, I really like, they have an omelet station, and so I love getting the omelets from the omelet station. Even sometimes they'll have steak for breakfast, which I love. Steak is one of my favorite foods. So the steak is really good. But really, all of it's pretty good. So those are two of my favorites, though.
Now, you do know how blessed you are to be having steak at every meal, that you can just sit around and have an omelet bar and steaks. And, I mean, it's just amazing to hear all this.
Yes, sir. It's awesome. Definitely blessed.
So tell me, following along those lines there in that blessed world, how blessed are you with your family that's helped you make these moves and help you get to where you are at Auburn?
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, so, going into my junior year, my entire family moved from a town outside of Chicago to Nashville. And that was something that, was really unexpected for our family. Like, my parents had grown up their entire lives in the town called Wheaton where we were. And it was really just a God thing. They really felt God calling them to Nashville. And so being able for me to see them trust in God throughout that whole process really strengthened my faith. And I was able to watch them go through that. And so, that really helped me when I was making my decision for college, being able to come here. I just really tried to give it all to God and trust in Him and know that He had a plan for me no matter what happened. My favorite verse when we were moving was Jeremiah 29:11, which is, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope in the future." And that's one thing that I've stuck by ever since I moved to Nashville, and that's just helped me a ton throughout the whole process of playing in Nashville and at Coach Dilfer, and then picking my college and moving into Auburn. So this whole thing has just been, obviously without God I wouldn't be in this situation, and I'm just so thankful and blessed. And my family's been there for me along the entire way, especially my older brother, who will be a junior at Auburn. He's been my day one through it all, and he's my best friend, and so he's just helped me a ton throughout the whole process.
Well, I think I would probably speak for me and Andy as well in here that we are very proud of you for your faith there, that you're taking it along with you everywhere you go, because that's going to be a difference in life for you. I know you're going to do great things in football, but you sound like you got your head on right and know the Lord is the one that's guiding that path everywhere you're going. So I'm definitely proud to hear we got some guys of faith in the program over there.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Tell me now, question we had brought up. Let's step outside of football. Everybody's heard a little bit about it, what you do, how you work, how you eat, all that. Tell us something that if I was going to come to Auburn and visit, for a game or practice or wherever, what's something fun around there to do?
Yeah, so me and my buddies have been playing some golf recently. There's a Robert Trent Jones course about 15 minutes away from campus that we love to go to, and so that's been one of the fun things that time, even though we don't get much of it, we do get a little bit, and so we like to go play some golf. So it's been fun getting out there with some of the players, hitting the links.
Sounds fun.
Who's the best golfer?
I would say there's two guys that come to mind. One, Jackson Barkley, and then another one, Alex McPherson. Those are two guys that are definitely top on the team.
Young kicker. That's all he's got to do is play golf and kick. Right?
Exactly right.
Now, we would be missing out on an opportunity if we didn't ask about this quarterback battle that's going on over there. And you guys, there's a lot of great talent in the room, and I know nothing's going to be settled out there doing a 7-on-7 drills. But can you tell us something about who's throwing some pretty balls out there? I mean, your kind of feel on it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like you said, it's hard to tell right now. That'll definitely be decided in fall camp, close to the season. But all the quarterbacks have different strengths and weaknesses to them. Like Robbie, for example, he's really fast. Peyton's really smart. Holden throws a great ball. So it'll be something that will be decided close to the season, but it'll be exciting to see how that unfolds. Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, I thank you very much for coming on and giving us a few moments of your time. I know you got a busy schedule, so I appreciate you coming on.
For sure. Thank y'all for having me on. It's a pleasure.
Thank you so much. That's Hank Brown, freshman quarterback at Auburn University. Hopefully, with a name like Baby Goat, we expect big things.
There you go.
We're going to go ahead and take another break here on Sports Blitz Live, but don't go anywhere. When we come back, hopefully, we'll be joined by Olin Buchanan with TexAgs.com. Talk a little bit about the Texas A&M Aggies in 2023. Don't go anywhere. More to come right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Hey, honey, it's Mom. Just wanted to call and check in, see how everything's going. You'll probably say not to worry. Everything is great. But we miss you. I'll call you back later.
No. Everything's great. I love it here.
This is Joseph Dean with Alabama Funeral Homes. As many of you are aware, we had a fire that significantly damaged our facilities. We are in the process of getting those rebuilt. We apologize for any inconvenience this may have caused the families that we serve. I want you to know that we are capable of handling all of your needs at Frederick Dean Funeral Home of Opelika, which will be servicing Alabama Funeral Homes families. We can be reached at our same number, 256-896-4502, or by email at joseph@alabamafuneralhomes.com.
You've dreamed about the perfect house, a place to call your own, and a place to not only stretch out, but to grow. Auto Owners protects your house because to you, it's home. That's simple human sense. Happy to help, man. I was just over there talking to myself anyway.
Frontline Outfitters provides all your aftermarket parts for your cars, trucks, and as well as your professional tinting solutions for auto, residential, and commercial buildings. Frontline Outfitters also handles vinyl wraps, spray-in bed liners, truck accessories, LED lighting, paint correction and detailing, and much more. Make sure Frontline Outfitters of Alexander City is your first call for tinting and aftermarket solutions. Call us today, 256-409-8100.
Looking to sell your car, truck, or SUV? Look no further than King Honda. As a local family-owned business, we're committed to providing you with the best service and value. Nobody pays you more for your vehicle than King Honda.
You've trusted us for generations. You can trust King Honda to give you top dollar for your vehicle, whether you buy from us or not. Trust in our time-tested tradition of excellence at King Honda.
Visit King Honda today and get top dollar for your vehicle. Located on the corner of Opelika Highway and 280.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy Graham and Jim Hardy here with you. Just about 20 more minutes left in the first hour of tonight's program. Going to go back to the phone line and welcome in Mr. Olin Buchanan from TexAgs.com. Olin been with us over the years several times. Olin, thanks for coming back.
Well, glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Let's just dive right in and talk a little bit about the Texas A&M Aggies. Much like my Auburn Tigers, a terrible season last year. Really no other way to say it. But, a new offensive coordinator comes to town, Bobby Petrino. Let's just start there, because these are two – I mean, you got Jimbo Fisher, you got Bobby Petrino, two really, really strong personalities. Is that going to coexist?
Well, I think so, but none of us are going to know. I mean, there are those that say, "Oh, there's no way that's going to work." I think we all have to take a wait and see attitude. I'll say this, in my opinion, it's more likely to work than if Jimbo had brought in maybe somebody who's younger and not as accomplished, because I think older guy maybe trust his contemporary more than he would maybe a younger guy. So in my opinion, if Jimbo Fisher is for the first time going to give up play calling duties, first time in his career, play calling duties and just complete control of the offense, if he says he's going to do that, then I think it's best that you bring in a guy that has the background of a guy like Bobby Petrino. Plus, if you're an Atlanta Falcons fan, Bobby Petrino, if he's not opposed to leaving before the season's over. and if he was, he doesn't need the money. If he was, let's say he came here with assurances that he was going to be in control of the offense, or at least a high degree control of the offense, and it's not, and he feels like, that promise is being reneged upon. Well, he's the type of guy that would just, history shows, that would just say, well, then I'm out of here. And that would, I think that would make Jimbo look worse than they did last year if you had a guy in here and then wouldn't let him operate the offense. So I understand why people have some questions about it, a lot of observers in college football, but I'm taking a wait-and-see attitude, and because Bobby is has a successful track record and is Fisher's contemporary, I'm kind of on the leaning toward thinking it's going to work, or at least they're not going to have major issues. But none of us are going to know probably till October or so.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen that, and I feel like the transition will be made. I think the press conference Jimbo put out in the starting of this thing and getting him hired, a couple reporters put him on point of saying, "Are you going to let him call plays?" And his statement was basically, "Yeah, he's going. If he wants to call them, he's going to call them."
Well, yeah. First, I mean, he eventually got there. The first question was, "Well, we're going to do it together," and I mean, what?
Mm-hmm.
And he sounded like a guy that was kind of, having a hard time facing that, I'm going to be perhaps letting go of some things. Now, look, we don't know this for a fact. Probably only Jimbo and Bobby knows this for a fact, but I'd speculate that Bobby only came with assurances that he was going to be in control of the offense to some degree, to a high degree, because you might remember the rumor came out that Bobby Petrino was going to be coming to A&M, and then all of a sudden that stopped, and he went to UNLV and took a job there, and then a few weeks later, he is coming to A&M. So it struck me that it was like, at first Bobby didn't really want to buy into what he was hearing and what the plan was, and again, I'm just by speculation. And then Jimbo thought better of it and called him back and said, okay, here, I'm going to give you this. I'm going to make sure you're in charge of the offense, and I'm going to, we're probably going to put it in writing or something. And so that's why, that's another reason why I suspect that it's going to work out okay. But again, we'll find out. I mean, let's hope so. It's funny. I always say the best football coach in the history of college football, the most successful coach in college football, let somebody else call the plays. And maybe the worst coach to win a national championship in college football at Orgeron, let somebody else call the plays. It sounds like it's a pretty good idea to let somebody else call the plays.
That is for sure. Everybody's got their opinion, I'm sure, about what exactly was the problem last year. But in your opinion, you're a Texas A&M guy. What went wrong last year?
Oh gosh, there was a lot of things, and you don't want to make any excuses, but I can tell you all the different factors that went into this. It started with Jimbo calling the plays. It did. You'd see in really key situations, he's got his reading glasses on. He's got this, looks like a catalog. It looks like a Sears catalog of plays, and he's thumbing through it and trying to figure out the play. Meanwhile, the play clock's going down. Now they got to figure out if they're going to get the right personnel in, and they may get a delayed game penalty, or you may be getting a false start because now guys are antsy. You may have to. They've often used off their timeouts before they get to the second quarter or the fourth quarter, and there's just so that started. There was some disorganization. So that's where it starts. And then I think we were, as reporters and fans, they don't get to go into practice, and we were always told that Haynes King was this NFL caliber quarterback, and maybe he will blossom into that, but he just wasn't very good. And then he had a tendency to turn the ball over. But then you add in, and this is where it sounds like excuses, but I think you just got to, you got to acknowledge it. A&M had just a ungodly number of injuries last year. And as a result, they were playing, there was one guy, I think it was the Auburn game. I think A&M started 6 or 7 true freshmen or redshirt freshmen just on offense.
Yeah, we thank you for that, by the way.
Yeah, so you want to have talented freshmen, but, you don't want to be in a position like that because, it's the SEC. You're playing, no matter how talented you are, you're still a freshman playing against guys who are also very talented, but they've been in SEC systems and weight training and all those things for 2 and 3 years. So you may be a really good freshman, but you're going against a really good grown man. So, there's a lot of factors involved.
Well, to be honest, we just scratched the surface here. Do you have time maybe for one more segment?
Oh, I can do whatever you want.
Well, I tell you what, we're going to take a commercial break. We'll come back with Owen Buchanan from TexAgs.com, and we'll talk a little bit about the Aggies this year in 2023. Don't go anywhere. More to come right after this.
There's nothing like a brand new truck. From Sarah Automotive. New Honda Ridgelines from $349 a month, Ford Rangers from $357 a month, and Nissan Frontiers from $379 a month. One of the largest truck selections in Alabama. Plus, you get a lifetime warranty, no charge, engine, powertrain, and more. There's nothing like a brand new truck. From Sarah Honda, Sarah Ford, and Sarah Nissan, serving Alabama since 1981.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. with the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau tri-tunes, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com. You don't have to ask who, what, or why. Who's Diner is the go-to place for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Conveniently located at the corner of Highway 22 and 280 in Alex City. Who's Diner offers the best meals and the best deals in town. Try our fresh, made-from-scratch pancakes, chicken salad, Philly cheesesteak, or the Who Burger. It doesn't get any better than who? Who's Diner, of course, on the corner of Highway 22 and 280. Who's hungry? The same professionals you've trusted with your urgent care is now your primary health provider. Main Street Family Care. We provide annual physical exams as well as monitoring health conditions such as high blood pressure, diabetes, asthma, and more. All major insurances accepted, Medicaid, Medicare, and have self-pay options to accommodate everyone. See us in Alex City, just across from Walmart. Your care is our primary concern.
Main Street Family Urgent Care. Heal better, feel better fast.
Coastal Construction Design is the area's storm specialist experts and offers free roof inspections absolutely free to assess your needs. Their roofing experts get your home or commercial needs handled from start to finish. They have worked with all major insurance sources for decades, and they are permitted and approved for Lake Martin. Coastal Construction Design also handles exterior restoration, including siding and gutters. They are also a GAF certified contractor. Visit coastalconstruction.pro or call 251-215-3429. Coastal Construction Design. All things roofing from start to end.
Let Riverbank and Trust open doors for you. Whether you're purchasing land, a lot by the lake, or building or buying a home, begin with Tallapoosa County's loan experts. They'll guide you through the entire process, providing local decision-making, prompt responses, and the best real estate loan solutions for your unique needs. And in most cases, Riverbank and Trust can close your loan in 30 days or less, and they'll walk by your side every step of the way. It's all just part of the Riverbank and Trust difference. We invite you to experience it for yourself.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Jim here with you for one more segment in the first hour of tonight's program. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us. Going to the phone line, welcome back Olin Buchanan from TexAgs.com. Talk a little bit about the Texas A&M Aggies coming up in 2023. Just looking at the schedule in front of me, Auburn, Arkansas at a neutral site, Alabama at Tennessee. My goodness, that is a tough stretch.
Well, you know, hey, you're playing the SEC. It's not supposed to be easy, right? Especially, you know, when you're in the West. So, hey, if you wanted it to be easy, you could have stayed in the Big 12.
That is for sure. That is for sure.
Well, I see in this schedule you got here some great opportunities because, I mean, if you go back and look at I'm a numbers guy, and if you go back and look at the numbers from last year, 5 and 7, you actually had 5 of those games that were 6 points or less. So, I mean, you pick up those games and you're back to the 10 and 2 that, you know, Texas A&M wants to be at. What do you feel like in looking at the schedule? You know, what's your number? Are you saying 8 and 4, 9 and 3? I kind of see Auburn as that first SEC game as being their pivotal. It's going to show the world what they got because I think they're going to be 3 and 0 when they get to Auburn.
Might be. Look, I'm going to pick them 9 and 3, and the reason why is like you just said. Hey, if you can add one touchdown to every game, you go 10 and 2. Now I know we're oversimplifying there, but then you add the fact that Bryce Young, who was the best offensive lineman you had. I'm sorry. I'm talking Alabama. I'm saying Bryce Young. Bryce Foster's the best offensive lineman you had, your center, and he missed all but 3 games, I think, because of injury. So he'll be back. You got Bobby Petrino. Connor Wigman, I thought, played really well for a true freshman quarterback, and I think they'll get better at quarterback. So there's reasons to think that you can be more productive offensively.
Oh yeah, if you see the true numbers you guys have got, you got 16 returning starters from last year, the most in the SEC. You're number 3 and number 4 in the country in the blue chip ranking. So the roster and the players are there. You just I think you brought up the great point everybody's talking about is, will the OC turn it around?
Yeah, I think you feel free to disagree with me, but I think there's probably only about 3, maybe 4 teams that would not trade rosters with A&M. Alabama probably wouldn't, Georgia wouldn't, maybe LSU wouldn't. But other than that, I think most of the teams in the SEC would trade rosters with them. So, and most of those guys last year, I talked about how many freshmen were playing. So now they got guys with a little more experience and understanding what they're getting into. But you can look at it on paper and look at the numbers and things like that. It makes you feel better. But, now you got to start proving that you can do things. I thought last year was a colossal coaching failure. Well, is Bobby Petrino going to fix that? Defensively, they got to do better. Is DJ Durkin going to be better in his second year? So I would say that 8-4 should probably get Jimbo fired because you fired the previous guy for averaging 8 wins a year for 6 years. Now, his contract may prevent that. You guys in Auburn know about that. But I think they have a good enough talent to be much better. Maybe they're going to – we talk about Auburn a lot in College Station. We keep talking about Auburn from 2012 to 2013. Maybe A&M can do that too.
Yeah, well, we at Auburn know about the contract not forbidding us to fire. Now, you brought it up, so let me ask you an honest question. Now, I think, am I right that if they were to fire Jimbo at the end of the year, it'd be $76 million?
Definitely in that neighborhood.
Are there actually people that would pony up to pay that?
Yeah, that's front pocket money for a lot of these Aggie boosters. They got guys, billionaires that contribute to A&M. So I was told by people that are supposed to know this stuff that last year they had the money ready, and they had guys ready to buy him out if they felt like they needed it. But they've got that number 1 recruiting class from that now those guys are sophomores. I think they want to do everything they can to keep those guys, the nucleus of those guys together. And quite frankly, hey, you brought those guys in. Let's give him a chance to see what he can do with them. And I think, again, people are smart enough to be able to say, it shouldn't have been that bad. You shouldn't have lost to Appalachian State. You gave the game to get South Carolina away. There's some other games you had a chance to win, Ole Miss, but there were a lot of injuries, so they're going to give him a little bit of a pass there too. So I don't think they're ready to just get the pitchforks and torches out, but they got them in the garage.
Well, one of the things that we have seen in college football here in the last several years, maybe for all time, I mean, more so in the recent era, but elite quarterbacks is really how you get to the playoff and how you win the thing. Does A&M have an elite quarterback on the roster right now?
Hey, the word potential, right, means you haven't done it yet. Potentially, I personally think Connor Wigman is potentially the best quarterback that A&M's had since Johnny Manziel. And now I get it. That's not necessarily setting the bar really high because, quite frankly, A&M's quarterback play has been pretty disappointing since Johnny Manziel. Kellen Mond had one really good year in 2020, and I think Trevor Knight transferred from Oklahoma, and he had a nice year down in, I think it was 2016. But other than that, the quarterback play has been pretty mediocre. And I'm not saying Connor Wigman's the guy that's going to go out and throw for 4,000 yards. I'm not saying that at all. But I don't think that means you're a good quarterback. I think moving the offense makes you a good quarterback, whatever it takes. And he can run. He showed that he can throw the ball real well. And he's not afraid. So it was just a few games as a true freshman, but you saw enough in him to think, okay, you think you got something here. So it'll be interesting. And again, we won't know to see how he responds to working with Petrino and just developing. Is he going to be better as a sophomore than he was as a freshman? Well, you like to think he will be. You can be confident that he will be, but there's no guarantees. And if anybody knows that, it's A&M.
Well, Owen, we really appreciate you taking some time for us tonight. Always enjoy catching up and talking some football. Good luck to the Aggies this year, and let's see if we can have some fun.
Well, it's going to be fun one way or another. Appreciate it. Never a bad time to talk college football, so thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. We're going to go ahead and take another break here, but never fear. Hour number 2 of Sports Blitz Live is on the way right after this.
Make your way to Glenn Smith Chevrolet. Check out the powerful new Chevrolet Silverado 4-wheel drive crew cab. Discounted up to $12,250 off. Chevy Equinox up to $5,250 off. Shop online anytime at glennsmith.com. That's GLYNN Smith.com. Plus, no payments for 120 days at Glenn Smith Chevrolet.
Over 250 new and used vehicles on the lot or on the way to Glenn Smith and Opelika. Get ready to smile.
The Alabama Slammer. It's a popular drink at parties, but drink too many and you'll wind up in this Alabama Slammer. And if you drink and drive, get ready for a real Alabama Slammer. If you're involved in a crash where a driver's been drinking, you're 4 times more likely to die.
Drive safe, Alabama. A message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
There's only one clear choice in the Lake Martin area for plumbing, heating, and air. That's All Clear Plumbing and Air. Our professionally trained technicians offer full service repair and installation on all major brands. From drips to water heaters, thermostats to entire air conditioning and heating systems, and everything in between. Our fast, reliable, and guaranteed top-notch customer service will keep you informed and up to speed through the entire process. Call us today or look for us on Facebook and Instagram at All Clear Plumbing and Air, 256-496-2056. License number 19172.
If you haven't been to Big B Barbecue in Alex City, then you're missing the best barbecue around. Big B has everything from the best pulled or chopped pork, chicken, and beef to cheeseburgers and grilled chicken salads. Bring your friends and family out for a great dinner and sit outside on our beautiful patio, or sit inside and enjoy your meal by the fireplace. So come in and join us and enjoy the best barbecue in the area only at Big B Barbecue, located on Highway 22 West in Alex City.
Hi, this is Jimmy Gorey at Gorey's Furniture. Come join us for the madness of March. Come join us here at Gorey's Furniture. Make a purchase, shoot from the line, 5, 10 to 15. That's % discount off your total ticket. So come join us. Let's have some fun. Everyone's a winner. Everyone will save. Come join us for the madness of March, and that's only at Gorey's Furniture.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice. Bice Motors.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Jim here with you for hour number 2 of the show this evening. Thank you so much for all of you being with us tonight. Give us a call, 256-234-6221. That is our number here. We are brought to you each and every Tuesday evening by JR Sports Bar and Grill. Wonderful place to have lunch or dinner right here in downtown Alexander City. They've been a long-time sponsor of all of our Sports Blitz programming. Love that place, JR Sports Bar and Grill. Great atmosphere, great food, great people. Go and check them out and have a great meal sometime this week. Also, Sunshine Heating and Air. For all your heating and cooling needs, give Kevin Kill a call. They will help you out. They will hook you up. Whatever the problem is, if you're having problems with your existing unit or if you need a new unit, they can help you out. Sunshine Heating and Air. Give them a call today. Thanks to Hank Brown, freshman quarterback there at Auburn, and Olin Buchanan with TexAgs.com, our two guests in the first hour of tonight's show. Great information, great to talk with both of them, and a lot of fun. The 2023 Texas A&M Aggies, they are a mystery, to be perfectly honest.
Yep.
He said he made the point. You talk about that roster. You brought that up too. On the blue chip ratio.
Right.
And I think he's probably accurate when he says, outside of Alabama, Georgia, and LSU, they certainly have the most talented roster. Now, with some of the issues that they've had, I'm not sure a lot of people would trade with them.
No,
because they don't want to borrow Sara.
There's one thing to trade out players, but it's another thing to trade out culture.
Yeah.
That culture in that locker room is a lot different than what we want.
So is that going to change this year? What's the court? He said, maybe Wigman turns into that big-time quarterback. That has been an issue the last several years.
From looking at the numbers, they got everything on the wall right now that they could be that breakout team that goes from 5-7 to 10-2, because they got the players. They've now, if Jimbo will get out of the way and let a real guy, because Bobby can call plays, there's no question. He's done great everywhere he's been. And if they get out of the way and let him coach the players that are there, like we said, we've already come up with 5 of their losses last year were within 6 points, and 4 of those were 3 points or less. If you just change a few of those, you got a whole different season.
And you said, we were talking. You got Mississippi State, Alabama on the road. He mentioned giving the game away to South Carolina, but Florida on that list as well in this whole litany of games here on this 6-game losing streak that they went through. You get blown out on the road at Mississippi State, and then go into Tuscaloosa and have a chance to score on the last play of the game to win the game.
Yep.
And you look at that and go, no, wait a minute. Something doesn't add up here.
Yeah, and I told you that's a culture thing. I've been around coaching long enough and seen it. When a team goes somewhere and gets morally just blown out, when you get beat by 20-something by Mississippi State, that's kind of demoralizing, because Mississippi State's not supposed to do that.
No.
And then Alabama looked at that and they go, gosh, we got an off week coming in because these boys just got beat by 20. So they didn't put in their A effort at practice. Then it turned around and Texas A&M threw everything they had at them, and they should have got them. They really should have beat them.
They really should have. So that I don't know exactly what to expect. They end on a winning note. They beat UMass. They beat LSU at home significantly. This is an LSU team that was on a roll, that had already won the West.
Oh yeah,
and maybe that was part of it. Maybe the fact that they had won the division, they kind of let up a little bit.
If the train, I keep referring to them as a train that's out of control, they're either fixing to run over the West or they're going to have a wreck and all these cars are going to pile up with all that culture. But, if you just thumb down through their schedule, and I still go back to the Auburn, that first SEC game that they're going to play, that's going to tell you a lot about both of our programs, their program and ours. If they can go in and face an Auburn and show the talent they've got and beat Auburn pretty handily, I think that train's on the tracks and ready to roll.
I think you probably are correct. You could spin it both ways. Yes, they did lose a lot of close games, but Arkansas should have beaten Texas A&M last year, and that could have been another loss.
Correct.
If it comes, I go back to that game. Arkansas, I think, was up 14-0, and that maybe it's 14-3 at the time. But KJ Jefferson was going in to score, to really just, take complete command of the game. Dives from the 5-yard line for some reason, fumbles, picked up, and run back for a touchdown. Game is never the same for the rest of the day. So they were fortunate to win that game last year. But I'm with you. You get Auburn and Arkansas back to back.
Yep.
Those are 2 winnable games, those are two losable games.
Correct.
Do you win both? Do you lose both? Do you split them? That's going to determine what the rest of your season
if the talent is there, which it's showing it is, 16 returning starters, if that offense gels and comes together, I mean, because like I said, they got 3 games to really prime up to get ready for those two. If that train's on the tracks and rolling, you could really be looking at a 5-0 team headed to Alabama, and that'd be a hell of a matchup. You know, undefeated Alabama and an undefeated Texas A&M, and people would say, "Oh, here comes Texas A&M again." You know, they're back.
Now, Miami was no good last year. I'll give you that.
Yeah,
but that's not a guaranteed win.
No, it's not. It's not. But
especially down in Coral Gables.
I do feel like that they've recruited better. Miami has stepped up their game a little bit, but I don't think they're still that blue chip ratio that Texas A&M's holding over there. They got a lot of bullets in their gun.
I don't understand how the defensive line could be as bad as it was, because several of those blue chips were on the defensive line.
Correct.
They gave up 208 yards, nearly 209 yards a game rushing.
Right.
Last year. Again, there seems to be a dead cat in the woodpile.
Yes. I agree with you.
So
100%.
I don't know. You know, again, they're much like Auburn. They are a mystery.
I think Olin touched on it a little bit as well. As when you're getting ready to make some cookies and you put all that stuff in there and ingredients and mix it up, you got to have somebody that knows what they're doing, just mixing it. You know,
yeah.
If Jimbo ain't mixing those players right, it goes right back to that culture. That defensive line didn't give him everything they had because they didn't believe in that team last year.
Yeah.
You know, you're looking at. I'm just telling you. For some reason, my gut tells me that you're looking at a totally different A&M team this year. That if that's the if they can get off to that good start, get off to that 3-0, and build themselves a little confidence, I mean, they're gonna run over some people.
I think I will be very interested in that Miami game on the road to see how they play. I think it'll be pretty sure it'll be an improved Miami team. Don't know how much improved. But if they run roughshod over the Hurricanes,
yes,
then they're going to be obviously 3-0. And will Auburn be 3? Can Auburn go out to California and run roughshod over the Cal Bears? If they're both 3-0, then it comes down to, I guess, who wants it more at that point. So.
Right. I mean, and then you thumbing through the rest of the A&M schedule, you're obviously looking at that Alabama and Tennessee back-to-back. Tennessee is not what they were last year. They've lost a couple of big offensive linemen. Their 2 best receivers are gone. They've lost some pieces on defense. I'm not going to say that they're going to take a huge fallback, but what were they, 10-2 last year? I think you're looking at a more of a 8-4, 9-3 Tennessee this time versus that, because they're just not loaded like they were last time. Heupel's got a great offense, and he's another great mind at calling plays. But it's also another year for people to look at his system and sit there and pick it apart. And I just don't think they're finna do 10-2.
I think they've got this year, and then defenses probably start to catch up a little bit. So they better make some hay this year.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if you look at either one of those, so let's just say they lost both of them. I mean, South Carolina's definitely winnable for them. Ole Miss is winnable for them. Mississippi State is obviously winnable. What is that? Abilene Christian. They should pick that one up. I think your game at the end of the season is the one that tells you if they're 9-3, 10-2. You know, the LSU game, and they owned them last year.
Yeah, they did at that.
So they could be you could be looking at the second team in the West being A&M versus LSU.
Who would have thought that? We are up against another break here on Sports Blitz Live. Yeah, it is Sports Blitz Live.
That's correct.
Started to say Auburn Blitz. I hadn't done it once, but I was going to. We got to take a break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more right after this.
Talladega Outdoors in Talladega is your authorized Kawasaki sale and service center. Your home for Bad Boy mowers and Kimco scooters, four-wheelers, and side-by-sides. Rather for hunting, land management, or recreation, they have the ride for you. But they are also everything outdoor with full lines of accessories and is now your Ariat workwear and boot store, along with kayaks and outdoor accessories. Talladega Outdoor, Highway 21 in Talladega. Everything outdoor and Alabama's #1 Kawasaki dealer.
Life is a sequence of little successes. The story of my Southern Union success began the day I walked on campus, making new friends, mastering a new skill, reaching a personal goal, the encore performance, the first date, the internship, and now, soon, the dream job. That's the story of my Southern Union success. Register for classes and get ready to watch your Southern Union story come to life.
If you're tired of the same old and you're hungry for something really good, then it's time to go to JR's Sports Bar and Grill. JR's has the best fingers and wings around, and their menu is loaded with appetizers, burgers, salads, and so much more. Follow JR's on their Facebook to keep up with their live music events and drink specials. And if after a long day you just want to stay in, remember JR's delivers. Call in your order at 256-329-2328. JR Sports Bar and Grill, 145 Alabama Street in Alexander City.
They say we live in an age of big data, where computers and fancy algorithms are supposed to know you best. But at Country Financial, we know helping you own your future requires, well, something much bigger. Contact your local Country Financial representative and start planning for your future with a personal touch.
When you need an automotive hero, you got to call S&S Discount Tire Pros. With locations in Alexander City and Dayville, we are here to serve you today. From quick services like oil changes and tire rotations to in-depth automotive repairs such as suspensions, brakes, and tune-ups, S&S can take care of all your tire needs. You just have to focus on what's important and love the drive. Call S&S Discount Tire Pros today. We are automotive heroes, and we are here to serve you.
Glenn Smith and Opelika, GMC Sierra double cabs discounted up to $8,000 off. GMC Terrains up to $5,750 off. And Buick Enclaves up to $7,000 off. Shop online anytime at glennsmith.com. That's GLYNN Smith.com. Plus, no payments for 120 days at Glenn Smith Buick GMC.
Over 250 new and used vehicles on the lot or on the way to Glenn Smith and Opelika. Get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Jim here with you. Only about 45 more minutes left in tonight's show. It has flown by. A lot of great guests, a lot of great information, starting our SEC preview tonight. Let's move over and talk a little bit about the Kentucky Wildcats, and hopefully in the next segment we'll be joined by Aaron Gershon from catspaws.com. But Kentucky, I said the other day, Mark Stoops been there. This will be his 11th year in the Bluegrass. But Kentucky never going to be great. They're never going to be awful. They're always going to be probably good.
Right.
And that's, to be perfectly honest, that's fine in Kentucky. That's why you stay there 11 years.
Right.
But last year, a bit of a down season, if you'd say. I mean, coming off a 10-3 in 2021, they go 7-6, only 3-5 in the league. Now you lose Will Levis. So he is gone now. You're starting over at quarterback. We'll see what happens with that Kentucky offense. But just overall, looking at it, you were mentioning, much like Texas A&M, a lot of close losses.
Yes, they had several that were 3 points or less. And, I mean, really, I think Kentucky, if you, again, dive into the numbers and kind of look at it, they've benefited the last couple of years that they did that 9-3 and 10-2 from down teams in the East. I mean, Florida was down, Tennessee was down. You really only had Georgia there sitting at the top. So they were feasting off of lower-level competition there for a few years. Now that Tennessee stepped the game up, Georgia's up there.
South Carolina's starting to ascend a little bit.
Correct. I think that's what's going to push what we're talking about, the Kentucky that Arkansas of the West. They're gonna push them more into that 7-5 Kentucky team now, not the 10-2 team, just because the opponents are different now.
Yeah, it's not an easy thing, obviously, to recruit to Kentucky, but Stoops has done about as good a job as you could do, I think. So, looking at their schedule, Ball State, Eastern Kentucky, those should be 2 wins. Akron, you start out 3-0. If you're Kentucky, a road trip to Vandy. Now, you would say, well, obviously that's a win.
Right.
They didn't win last year.
No.
Vanderbilt rose up and beat Kentucky last year 24-21. There's one of your 3-point losses. So that becomes a pretty pivotal game at Vanderbilt. You know, not crazy Nashville can be. Those rabid Commodore fans.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty – all of a sudden a pretty important game.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, and you know, another one that just glares right there, which is we brought up the game from the flip-flop of Texas A&M playing Bama so close and getting blown out by somebody else. Here you are staring at a Georgia game that they played within 10 points. They held the Georgia to less than anybody in the country all year. How do they pull that off?
I go back and think about some of the – I mean, Missouri. Georgia goes into Missouri, and Missouri's got them dead to rights.
Yeah.
They kicked, I think, kicked about 6 or 7 field goals, but still.
Oh, yeah.
They had a lead, late.
Yeah.
I think Georgia was one of those. They kind of got, I don't want to say bored, but they just kind of, like you were saying, they went in thinking, Missouri, we just beat Tennessee's brains in.
Right.
Missouri won't be a problem.
Right.
Really?
And then there's the schedule like we're sitting there talking about. Kentucky goes over to Vanderbilt and loses by 3, so they got that – Georgia's got that mentality, seeing them coming, going, oh, gosh, they lost to Vanderbilt. They're nothing.
Yeah.
There's a mental side of the game that I don't care who you are, you've got to accommodate for that. Kirby has always been a great one, and Nick's always been a great one at motivating in the hard weeks, in those weeks that you go play the Louisiana Monroes and those guys to get them up and let them score 40. Because a lot of times athletes, they're pushed all year so hard – mentally, physically, they want to take a week off.
Yeah. Who doesn't? I want to take a week off.
Yeah.
And I don't do a whole lot.
Well, that's true.
But anyway, that 3-day week last week.
Ooh.
That was
quick.
That almost did me in for weeks now on. So I'm a big fan of the 3-day work week.
Well, I saw a policy out there now that they're trying to get changed in our society these days to where people are wanting a 3-day work week.
Is that right?
Yes. They're saying they would rather work 10 to 12 hours in 3 days than they would work the normal schedule of over 5 days.
Interesting.
Now, it was definitely interesting to hear what some of our
will they actually work 12 hours?
Well, there's your thing. I don't think they're going to work 2 hours, but yeah.
Of course, you'd have to slip in a couple of more hours there, wouldn't you?
Yes.
That'd only be 36.
To get they don't want you to get to a 40-hour work week anymore. That's too much work. We're putting too much pressure on you.
Too much pressure.
Right.
Too much work.
Right.
Yeah. I could see that.
Yeah, and you got football coaches sitting over here putting 90-hour weeks in.
Yeah.
Watching film and coaching kids and never going home in the fall.
Yeah.
But that's why they write you $1 million check, or some coaches $10 million checks, because they want to see the W's.
Or apparently $76 million.
Well,
how about now? Look, it's one thing for me to say, when somebody say, "Are they really going to pay Gus Malzahn $24 million?" And I say, "Yes,
yeah,
they are." Are they really going to pay Brian Harsin $18 million?
Yeah, they are.
They are.
Mm-hmm.
$76 million, and he said that's pocket money.
He said front pocket money.
Front pocket money.
That's a whole different ballgame.
That's what you got in the money clip. That ain't even going to the wallet.
Right. Well, you all know. I mean, there's oil money over there flowing everywhere. So they're, like he said, those billionaires, when you dig in there for 76, if you want somebody on bad enough, you'll write the check.
Had the money last year, he said.
Yeah.
It was more than 76 last year.
Yeah, I think it was in the 80s last year. I think it said 84.
Yeah. I can't even.
I think, okay, so now that we brought that question up, in your mind, what writes the check, 7-5 or 8-4? Because if his losing record are 6-6 or less, he's gone. But does 7-5 get him $77 million?
As Olin said, you fired the last guy for going 8-5.
Right.
And you weren't paying him nearly as much.
Right.
So I'm gonna say 7-5.
That's what I'm thinking.
Before they play the bowl game.
If he doesn't show a significant turnaround of that 8-4 or better, they're gonna write a check. So it's gonna for $77 million.
I mean, part of me just thinks that's so obscene. You can't do that.
Right.
Just for optics' sake, you can't do that.
Yeah. Well, You're also, in this day and age of NIL, you're flexing your muscles and showing, hey, we got the money. If you want to come play, we can write a check.
You know what's going to happen the day after they do that?
Yeah.
Andy's going to put an application in Texas A&M and see if I can't get a job somewhere.
Well, I mean, if they got that kind of change going around, they got to have you a position.
I would think that would be nice.
You could be an analyst.
Just to get fired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brian Harsin figured that one out.
Yeah, really. My goodness. Where have we come to in this world?
Oh,
$76 million.
That's terrible.
Pocket money.
Front pocket money, what that man said. Front pocket.
We got to take another break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Sports Blitz Live right after these messages.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
Planting season is here, and the Potting Shed Garden Center is happy to give you professional landscaping advice when it comes to planting your shrubs and trees. Auburn's best kept secret will have it all this fall. Mums, pansies, pumpkins, and much more. All in an array of colors and sizes, along with beautiful pots and containers, indoor plants, and a great selection of other gardening gifts. It's all at the Potting Shed Garden Shop, where natural elements reign supreme. Located on the corner of Moore's Mill and Society Hill Road in Auburn.
Have you stopped by Lifesavers Mission Thrift Store lately? If you haven't, you should. You'll find great pieces for your favorite do-it-yourself project. Lightly used name brand clothing by Free People, North Face, Matilda Jane, Patagonia, and a whole lot more. And while you're there, don't miss the shoes, decorative pieces, classic and new books, and Auburn and Alabama gear that won't cost you a fortune. So stop and shop at Lifesavers Mission Thrift Store today for a unique thrift experience that won't break the budget. Lifesavers Mission Thrift, located on East University behind Zaxby's.
Lake Area Realty specializes in Lake Martin real estate. They can help simplify your next real estate purchase or sell, and have helped many home buyers and sellers through the area buy and sell real estate with precision. Lake Area Realty utilizes powerful marketing tools and knowledge of the lake to help you with your next move. Call your local hometown agency today, Lake Area Realty, at 256-825-4800. That's 256-825-4800. Lake Area Realty, helping you find your way home.
Looking to sell your car, truck, or SUV? Look no further than King Honda. As a local family-owned business, we're committed to providing you with the best service and value. Nobody pays you more for your vehicle than King Honda.
You've trusted us for generations. You can trust King Honda to give you top dollar for your vehicle, whether you buy from us or not. Trust in our time-tested tradition of excellence at King Honda.
Visit King Honda today and get top dollar for your vehicle. Located on the corner of Opelika Highway and 280.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy Graham and Jim Hardy here with you. About 30 more minutes in tonight's show. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us. We're going to go back to the phone line and welcome in Aaron Gershon from catspaws.com. Aaron, we really appreciate you being with us tonight. I know it's been a long day.
I appreciate that, and it's not a problem. Yeah, it's been a long one. I'm up in Toronto covering Kentucky and Global Jam, which is one of those off-season basketball tournaments, so getting a little basketball in now, then flying back home Friday, and going to be in SEC Media Days by Monday down in Nashville. So it's a little bit of a hectic 2 weeks, but hey, it means sports are coming, and that's fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to the college football season, but always time to sneak in a little Kentucky basketball for sure. Aaron, let's just dive right in, talk about this Kentucky Wildcats team. Jim and I were kind of talking about looking at it, and, from the job that Mark Stoops has done, it's hard to believe this is year 11, by the way, but, you would have to say, by the standard he has created, a little bit of a down year last year, 7-6, 3-5 in the league. What was the feeling among the fan base?
Yeah, undoubtedly it was a disappointing year, especially when you had a guy in Will Levis at quarterback that, you knew was going to be a first or second round draft pick, ends up being the second pick of the second round. He had a rough year, but part of that, the offensive line was just a mess. And it was probably something that, even myself probably should have saw going into the year. I mean, they did lose 3 starters from that 2021 offensive line. That team won 10 games. One of those offensive linemen is starting for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Just started 2 playoff games. Luke Fortner, Darian Kennard, reserved with the Chiefs, just won a ring. So you lost some big pieces, and they weren't quite able to put it together last year on the line. But we'll get into why I think that should turn around this year. But, yeah, I think it was a big disappointment. The fans were really, really bummed out. I mean, there was expectations of at least, kind of getting back to that 10-win threshold, and the schedule was, I think, manageable enough to get there, and they just couldn't quite take advantage of it.
Well, and you can look at the schedule from last year and see that 7-5 in the regular season, and you got 2 losses there staring you in the face of 3 points or less. So you really could have had that 9-win season had you corrected Ole Miss and Vandy.
That's exactly right, and both of those games were very winnable. I mean, the Ole Miss game you're talking about, it shouldn't even have gotten to that point, but Kentucky's down 3 at the Ole Miss 12-yard line with less than a minute to go, and they throw in the game-winning touchdown and get called for an illegal formation. Next play, strip sack, game's over. So you're a procedural penalty away from a win in Oxford. And then Vanderbilt, you actually won the game because it was 4th and 11. You get an incomplete pass, and Kentucky's called for illegal hands to the face, and it was a good call. It was the right call with about 57 seconds left. And then Vanderbilt was able to take advantage and finish off that drive and win it. So really a matter of minutes away from 9 wins.
Now, I'm not even a Kentucky fan. I remember that game. My goodness, the way it ended. It was
they were. It was brutal last year, and then obviously the South Carolina game that Will Levis missed, and really, I'm surprised he even came back with how hurt he was. But he did sit that one out injured, and they just couldn't get anything going offensively. Kaya Sharon, poor kid, making his first college start at about 2 days' notice, just had no clue. It was a tough one, but even that game was 7.5. So I mean, you're talking about painfully close losses last year.
Well, you mentioned Will Levis not being here, not being in Lexington this year. Where is Kentucky headed for the quarterback position?
Yeah, Kentucky, I think, by all means, has struck hold at quarterback because they were able to get Devin Leary out of the transfer portal, who was, at the time when he committed, the top-ranked quarterback. I'm not sure where the rankings stand. I know he's at least 1, 2, or 3 in there. He's talking about a guy who could be an NFL pick. I mean, I don't think he's going to be a first or second round guy like Will was, but he's definitely a guy on the radar and was just at Manning Pass Academy and listed as one of the guys who stood out. And, talking to him this spring, you and I got to talk to him one-on-one a couple weeks ago. Very impressive kid who's been around the block. I mean, he played at NC State for 5 years. His best year was 2021. 35 touchdowns on just 5 picks and threw for well over 3,000 yards and actually entered 2022 as the ACC Player of the Year preseason and was off to a good start and got hurt on a freak play against Florida State, and it was a fibula injury that ended his season there, and decided to go to the portal. Tim Beck obviously left NC State. Kentucky's able to win out and get him, and they feel really good as long as they can keep him healthy and keep him upright, that he'll fit right in and be, if not as productive as Levis was in 2021, maybe even a tad better.
Well, I got a question for you. If we look down this schedule real quick of what you guys have got coming this year, I can see 4-0 right off of the bat, obviously, because of that schedule. Do you think the in my mind, the most pivotal game there going on is this Florida game that, it's obviously out there, a lot of things about them that we don't know what they're going to be, but they've recruited and brought in some great players. Could you see that a loss happening there, or do you think they can handle Florida?
I think at this point you got to believe Kentucky can win it going into the year because they've won the last 2 matchups and 3 of the last 5. I mean, we all remember the 31-game losing streak to Florida, but it's really flipped on its head, that rivalry lately. I mean, even the game in 2019, Kentucky's winning by 13 going into the 4th. And really, in each of, I'd say, outside of the game in 2020, the COVID year, since Kentucky ended that losing streak to Florida in 2018, Kentucky's been the more physical team on the line of scrimmage. They've had the better players. I mean, it's just watching them head-to-head, they've looked like the better team. So we'll see what Florida looks like. They're kind of feel like the mystery of the SEC. I mean, maybe they could be a lot better. Maybe they're just going to stink. I don't know. It's really tough to know. And, you know, their quarterback situation, Graham Mertz or whoever, it's murky. So, you know, we'll see how Florida starts. But, you know, if I were to make a prediction right now based on looking at the 2 rosters and watching these 2 teams play head-to-head, I'd have to feel pretty good about Kentucky, especially at home.
Well, one final question, Aaron, and we'll let you go. Kentucky offense was not very good last year. Like 20.4 points, really 111th in the country. But the defense, even with the offense not being able to move the ball very well, really, really good. Only giving up 19.2 points a game, 13th in the country, 11th overall in total defense. How much of that is returning this year?
A pretty good amount. You know, they're the tough spot is the secondary is the one that, you know, you worry about a little bit. Keidron Smith, who was second team All-SEC, started his career at Ole Miss. He's gone. Carrington Valentine, who did a really, really nice job at corner, better than we all expected. You know, he got drafted at the end of the draft this past year, so you lose your 2 starting outside corners. But your middle linebackers, I mean, yeah, you lost DeAndre Square and Jaquez Jones, but with both of those guys injured for most of last year, Trevin Wallace and Derrick Jackson stepped into those roles. And honestly, guys outperformed them, and they're going to be back. Defensive line, Deion Walker, freshman All-American, is back. He is 6'6", 340, and looks like he might even be bigger than that when you stand next to him. Just a big dude that could take another step this year. You know, slim down a little bit. Think he's going to be even a little quicker. So that's a big one. J.J. Weaver, 5th-year edge rusher. So they got a lot of those pieces back. And I've learned, you know, just covering this team the last, 5-6 years, you can never, when it comes to Kentucky developing defense, you don't have to worry about it. Just to give a quick example, 2018, they win 10 games. That offseason, they lost their 2 starting corners and their 2 safeties. And the whole offseason is, okay, what are you going to do about the secondary? 2019 with a bunch of guys who had never started before. They finished second in the country pass defense only with Ohio State, not allowing 10 touchdown passes, only 9. So when it comes to Mark Stoops, Brad White, and defense, you got to be pretty confident till proven otherwise.
Well, Aaron, we really appreciate you taking some time for us tonight. Thank you so much. Good luck to the Wildcats in 2023, and hopefully your schedule will go well according to schedule for the rest of your time.
Hey, I appreciate it, guys. Anytime.
Thank you so much. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Sports Blitz Live right after these messages.
At C&T Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elk City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs, or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
Have you met your local Farmers Insurance agent, Patrick Holina? He proudly serves Tallapoosa County and Alexander City families and businesses and is ready to review your existing policies or provide a no-obligation quote today. Call the Holina Agency at 256-234-0037 or stop in today at 704 Commerce Drive to get smarter about your insurance. Again, that's the Holina Agency, 256-234-0037.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
The food at Oscar's Cafe makes your mouth water. At Oscar's, enjoy great tasting catfish, or maybe you're just in the mood for one of Oscar's fresh salads. Even kids know the place for a fine meal is Oscar's with a great kids menu. Oscar's also has great tasting burgers full of backyard flavor. So come on out to Oscar's Cafe for great food and homegrown hospitality. We're located on Highway 49 South in Dadeville, just before the Blue Creek Bridge. And remember, it's all fun and games till there's only one cheese ball left.
Life is a sequence of little successes. The story of my Southern Union success began the day I walked on campus, making new friends, mastering a new skill, reaching a personal goal. The encore performance, the first date, the internship, and now, soon, the dream job. That's the story of my Southern Union success. Register for classes and get ready to watch your Southern Union story come to life.
Let Riverbank and Trust open doors for you. Whether you're purchasing land, a lot by the lake, or building or buying a home, begin with Tallapoosa County's loan experts. They'll guide you through the entire process, providing local decision-making, prompt responses, and the best real estate loan solutions for your unique needs. And in most cases, Riverbank and Trust can close your loan in 30 days or less, and they'll walk by your side every step of the way. It's all just part of the Riverbank and Trust difference. We invite you to experience it for yourself.
Lake Area Realty specializes in Lake Martin real estate. They can help simplify your next real estate purchase or sell and have helped many home buyers and sellers through the area buy and sell real estate with precision. Lake Area Realty utilizes powerful marketing tools and knowledge of the lake to help you with your next move. Call your local hometown agency today, Lake Area Realty, at 256-825-4800. That's 256-825-4800. Lake Area Realty, helping you find your way home.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Luke here with you. Hey, you're not Luke.
Come on now.
Andy
I'm not a
Jim
Bama fan.
Yeah, really. Andy and Jim here with you. That really was an insult. You should take that. You should really take that. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us this evening. Been a great show. Again, it has flown by. Thanks so much to Hank Brown, Auburn freshman quarterback, to Olin Buchanan from TexAgs.com, and to Aaron Gershon from CatsPaws.com. As I was kind of referring to, I mean, they were flying up to Toronto to, Kentucky basketball is doing one of these out of season tournaments like Auburn did with Israel last year. But they had a very long delay. They were supposed to get to Toronto about 4 o'clock. They just got there not too long ago. So really appreciate him, eating a quick bite and giving us a few minutes. Very knowledgeable.
According to their coach, they're at basketball school.
That is true. Unbeknownst to Mark Stoops.
Right.
But I think that's the way Calipari likes it.
Right. Well,
he's got one of those Jimbo Fisher type buyouts.
Oh, there's no question.
And, Kentucky's not been quite Kentucky the last few years, so there's actually been talk of, could he be in trouble? But that's a big. I don't know if there's quite the donors in Kentucky like there are at Texas A&M.
No, I think you got some donors, but not that oil money.
Yeah. All right, just a couple more segments left in tonight's show. We'll try to do a little rank 'em to kind of close things out. Stephen Lang, I don't know if anybody really knows who that is, but you've seen Tombstone, right?
Yep.
Tombstone, every guy's seen Tombstone.
Yep.
Probably at least 5 times.
Oh, yeah.
He is the guy that played Ike Clanton.
Okay.
Very memorable role.
Old Ike, a scaredy cat. Yeah.
Old Ike, yeah. I to this day, I can't help when I say goodbye to somebody, a buddy. I'll see you soon. I'll see you soon.
Yeah.
You just can't help. These things stay with you. But, all right, Stephen Lang, he was in Tombstone.
Mm-hmm.
He was in a movie called Manhunter. Do you ever remember that one?
I'm familiar with that one.
Michael Mann movie.
Okay.
He was the one that kind of created Miami Vice.
Okay.
So it's very unique the way he does movies. But anyway, it was kind of the forerunner to Silence of the Lambs and all that. Hannibal Lecter was in it, but it wasn't Anthony Hopkins. It was a different guy that played him. But they remade the movie several years ago, and they called it Hannibal, I think. It was in line with when Anthony Hopkins did play Hannibal Lecter. But anyway, I really like the movie. It's an 80s movie. William Peterson is in it. If you like crime dramas, it's pretty good. He is actually in that. He plays a reporter that gets tortured and killed by the psychopath. But anyway.
I got you.
Project X.
Yeah, familiar.
From the 80s. Matthew Broderick is in that one as well. About monkeys and the space program, I think.
That's correct.
They're like, training them, but maybe they're abusing the monkeys or something. I forget. It's been a while since I've seen that one. All right, have you seen Avatar?
I don't think so. I mean, I know the name. It sounds familiar, but I don't recall a lot about it.
Technically, I think it was the biggest selling movie of all time.
Really?
Yeah.
I missed it.
James Cameron, I saw it. They made like 3. They made another one, and apparently they've made like 2. They're going to make 2 more.
Okay. I don't. Yeah.
It's okay. It's visually, it's pretty.
So you're saying it's worth sequels?
I don't think it ain't worth 4.
Oh, okay.
But it's unique. I'll say that for sure. And he's in a movie called Don't Breathe. I hadn't seen that one, but he's blind.
Yeah.
And he kills a lot of folks.
Yep.
So it's a very uplifting family film.
That sounds like it.
Yeah. So let's rank them: Tombstone, Manhunter, Project X, Avatar, Don't Breathe. Considering you haven't seen most of these, I'm gonna put Tombstone number 1 clearly.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody else would argue with that. Manhunter is number 2. I'm probably the only one that would put that one there.
Okay.
But I will do that. I'm gonna say Avatar 3, just because the fact that I don't remember that much of it. I don't remember the plot. All I remember is monkeys. For Project X, do you remember the plot?
No, I was sitting here scratching my head the same way. I remember the monkeys and the science experiment. And, Yeah.
So now, granted, that was 1987, so it's been a minute.
Yeah.
And then Don't Breathe, because I haven't seen that one either. All right, Richie Sambora, great guitarist. Bon Jovi, born on this day. By the way, Stephen Lang, born on this day as well, 1952. Richie Sambora, born on this day, 1959. Bon Jovi, who doesn't like Bon Jovi? Living on a Prayer.
Yes.
How many times have you heard that at an Auburn game?
7,000.
7,000 at least. Wanted, Dead or Alive.
Yep.
Very good. I think Young Guns 2, I believe, maybe.
Yeah, it's
one, or maybe one or 2.
Yeah, 2. It was 2, and then it was also Deadliest Catches theme song.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. Bad Medicine.
Yep.
As opposed to Good.
Yep.
You Give Love a Bad Name.
Yep.
I've been told that. So. And I'll Be There for You.
There you go.
How would you rank those Bon Jovi's classics?
Yeah, I would say that
most of these may have come off that Slippery When Wet album.
That Wanted, Dead or Alive's got to be number 1 because it's been used so many different ways. So many shows and movies, and probably say Living on a Prayer would be next in line there. You Give Love a Bad Name. I think that was really hot and heavy there when it was out.
No question.
Bad Medicine, I would say, and round it out with I'll Be There for You on the back end.
The sappy ballad, you're putting dead last.
Dead last. No reason to be sappy.
I got no problem with that. I'm gonna. A lot of people would put Living on a Prayer number 1. I'm with you. I Wanted, Dead or Alive.
Yep.
That's number 1 for me.
Yep.
Living on a Prayer, I will say okay, in the number 2 slot. I'm going to say You Give Love a Bad Name, number 3. I'll Be There for You, and then Bad Medicine, number 5.
All right, so you got a little
bit
sappy
different
in you. Huh?
Okay. I'm a sucker for a power ballad. Jimmy.
There you go.
Just give me the give me the power ballads. All right, quickly. Let's see. Chances. Fred Gwynn. He was Herman Munster.
Okay.
Have you ever seen the Munsters?
Oh yeah, Munsters. Well, I didn't know him, but I knew who.
He's the judge. Have you seen My Cousin Vinny?
Yes.
He's the judge
in the movie.
Did you say Utes?
Yep.
Pet Cemetery. Have you seen that one?
Didn't seen that one.
That's I don't care for that one.
No, I wouldn't, on my rank them, it's going to end up at the end.
The little guy, they bury the poor little kid that gets hit by a truck in the pet cemetery, and he comes back, and I have nightmares about it. But he's got a little scalpel, and he cuts his Achilles tendon. That is like the worst thing ever in a movie I think I've ever seen. I felt so bad for Fred. But The Secret to My Success, that was a Michael J. Fox movie.
Yep. Oh, yeah, know that one.
Don't remember what he played or did.
He was a intern at a big business for his uncle.
There you go.
And then he worked his way through he was supposed to be in a mailroom guy.
Yeah, right, okay.
He faked having an office. He went in there and built it up, turned into acting like he was one of the high-profile guys, started fooling around with the boss's wife, which was his aunt before he realized what was going on, So, but in the end, he ends up with being one of these. They sell the company. The big guy's gone, the one that was in the top of the company, and now he takes it over, and he's like making some serious bucks at the end of the movie.
That is a great synopsis.
That's how he makes his
That's the
success go
secret.
up.
Okay. And finally, the Munsters. I just put that as a category.
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, let's rank them.
Secret to My Success, because I've seen it 1,000 times. My Cousin Vinny. I don't know, Fatal Attraction or Pet Cemetery.
I missed Fatal Attraction.
Yeah, that one's right there, too. I mean, Fatal Attraction, I guess, would be 3.
You boiling bunnies, man. That's not good.
Monsters in 4 and Pet Cemetery 5, because I'm with you. Pet Cemetery is just a little out there for me.
Yeah, Glenn Close, you give love a bad name.
Yeah.
I'm going my Cousin Vinny, number 1. I'll say, I'm going to go the Munsters, number 2. Fatal Attraction, The Secret to My Success, and round it out with Pet Cemetery, because it just freaks me out. I'm just going to be honest. All right, we got to take a break. We'll be back with one quick final segment right after this.
76% of nurses say they went into the profession because they wanted to help patients. No matter the reason you decided to become a nurse, you have all the tools needed to advance your degree at Jacksonville State University. Our Master's in Nursing program is now offered fully online and can be completed in less than 2 years. You can customize a flexible course schedule so you can receive your advanced education degree all while working on the front line. JSU Nursing, your opportunity to advance your career and serve your community.
So, you finally got the boat, ATV, or side-by-side of your dreams, huh? Then make it yours with marine-grade audio that'll provide crisp, high-quality sound that's loud enough to be heard, whether you're cruising on the lake or hitting a mud hole. Come see Steve at the Car Stereo Shop in Auburn, so you'll be ready to crank up the volume. Whoa, but wait, you don't have to pull out of the water and trailer it to Auburn. The Car Stereo Shop can handle all of your work at any one of the Lake Martin marinas.
SCAG, the toughest name in lawnmowers. Unmatched quality and performance for over 3 decades. The clear choice, the best mower money can buy for work or at home. Top lawn care professionals and discerning homeowners know that SCAG means productivity and reliability. Every SCAG mower is proudly built right here in the USA. Don't settle for anything less than simply the best. SCAG.
Satterfield Outdoor Living on Highway 280 in Alex City.
At Russell Medical, we're proud of our exceptional nurses, like Nurse Brandy Worthy. Brandy represents the selfless, compassionate clinical leader patients expect and coworkers admire. Brandy was recently honored with the Nightingale Award for Nursing Excellence for her high standards, sound judgment, and caring manner. Her passion for her profession inspires us all.
Being a nurse is not just what you do, it's who you are. I'm proud to be a part of the nursing team at Russell Medical. We are the link between all hospital services, providing you with exceptional, personalized care.
If you're tired of the same old and you're hungry for something really good, then it's time to go to JR's Sports Bar and Grill. JR's has the best fingers and wings around, and their menu is loaded with appetizers, burgers, salads, and so much more. Follow JR's on their Facebook to keep up with their live music events and drink specials. And if after a long day you just want to stay in, remember JR's delivers. Call in your order at 256-329-2328. JR Sports Bar and Grill, 145 Alabama Street in Alexander City.
Talladega Outdoors in Talladega is your authorized Kawasaki sale and service center. Your home for Bad Boy mowers and Kimco scooters, four-wheelers, and side-by-sides. Rather for hunting, land management, or recreation, they have the ride for you. But they are also everything outdoor with full lines of accessories and is now your Ariat workwear and boot store, along with kayaks and outdoor accessories. Talladega Outdoor, Highway 21 in Talladega. Everything outdoor and Alabama's #1 Kawasaki dealer.
Welcome back, everyone, to the final segment of Sports Blitz Live on this Tuesday evening. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us tonight. Thanks to all of our guests that were on the show with us. Thanks to Jim for being with me tonight, adding a lot to the program. Thank you so much for sticking with us. Be sure to tune us in tomorrow, 12 to 1, for the Auburn Blitz. I'll be with JJ, and we will banty about everything going on in the world of sports pertaining certainly to Auburn. The All-Star game, last I checked, 1-1 going to the top of the 6th. It seems like every All-Star game for the last 10 years has pretty much gone the same way. Tied till they get to the late innings, and then the American League wins it by a run. I'm getting kind of sick of that, but hopefully the National League can I don't know why. I mean, you know, I'm a Braves fan, so a lot of Braves in there. I've always been a National League guy, but since the National League now has the DH, it's not like there's much difference in them.
No.
So,
no.
It pretty much it is a lot of talent on the field for sure, though. That is for sure. I got to share this. Just got a text just a few minutes ago. David, our good buddy, passed along another Brian Harsin story that you get these around. These kind of filter out around the city of Auburn. You run into somebody and they'll tell you something. But David was probably, I don't know, I guess he was probably playing some music tonight, but the doorman at this hotel there in Auburn where the team would stay on, I think, game day weekends, said that Harsin never stayed with the team when they were staying at this hotel. I mean, so, you know, teams would be having position meetings, like you would guess.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, and Harsin nowhere to be found.
Yeah, typical Friday night for most teams should be walkthroughs. You should have a nice meal. You should also grab your position meetings that you're going to sit in and get your final little notes in your head before you go play that ball game on Saturday. And if your leader is not there, that speaks volumes.
I will reiterate, again, I was told by a very close source that, and somebody that was in the locker room during halftime, that halftimes at Auburn were essentially silence. There were not a lot, there were no really adjustments being made. There were not any kind of position, everybody gathering with your own position. It was basically to go in there and rest and just kind of mellow out.
Yeah. I can understand that now that everything that's coming out about, you know.
Shocking we went 5-7.
No. It's just, I mean, I know Brett has got this love-hate relationship with Harsin and beats him up pretty well.
Oh, no, it's all hate.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm like you. I don't understand how you accept a job for the multi-millions that he did and do such a poor effort at accomplishing that job.
I don't know. I mean, clearly, you know, he's having fun with his $18 million, and I you know, if I had that kind of money, I guess I'd be in the Bahamas too.
Yeah, but there's integrity there somewhere. If you don't take somebody's money, you got to do a little work. You know.
Apparently not. That's how that works. That's going to wrap it up for us tonight on Sports Blitz Live. Thank you so much for being with us. For Jim Hardy, I am Andy Graham. So long for now, everybody. We'll talk again soon.
Have you met your local Farmers Insurance agent, Patrick Holina? He proudly serves Tallapoosa County and Alexander City families and businesses and is ready to review your existing policies or provide a no-obligation quote today. Call the Holina Agency at 256-234-0037 or stop in today at 704 Commerce Drive to get smarter about your insurance. Again, that's the Holina Agency, 256-234-0037.
We are farmers. Bum, ba, dum, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
There's nothing like a brand new truck. From Sarah Automotive, new Honda Ridgelines from $349 a month, Ford Rangers from $357 a month, and Nissan Frontiers from $379 a month. One of the largest truck selections in Alabama. Plus, you get a lifetime warranty, no charge, engine, powertrain, and more. There's nothing like a brand new truck. From Sarah Honda, Sarah Ford, and Sarah Nissan, serving Alabama since 1981.